And again, we're going to start off at 395 pounds. This is straight up bench pressing.
I mean, this is interesting for all of us because none of us really know what's going to happen here. We don't usually see an event like this, and it's not something that the guys have ever really done before. You know, obviously they will train for like bench pressing and chest pressing in the gym, but they've never done it as part of a competition, a lot of them. So it's going to be really interesting.
There we go. On to 390 now.
So you've got Ed Cohen at the side to make sure they lock their arms out and lock their elbows out, giving the thumbs up, and then Mark Philippi giving the down call in front of them.
Yeah, he's going to call it that.
Yeah, he had to work for that last one and holding his pec there. Hopefully he's just a bit fatigued.
He got up to 473 pounds.
So it's 512 after that, 527, 541, 570. I'm going to call it 575. So Maxime Boudreau starting to fade just a little bit in the competition. He came into this one down on points, currently in 9th overall and 30 points. Kevin Ferris now with an opportunity to make a move.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one to call, you know, to sort of sit there and say, you know, who do I think is going to do well on this?
Right.
The only gauge we've got is the guys that we know are big bench pressers. And even that sort of is never contested in competition. So, you know, unless they're doing some powerlifting on the side as well. But most of the guys use the bench press as just sort of more an accessory exercise for their overhead press to bring that tricep power and the sort of upper chest power up. You know, you probably find the guys that train an incline bench more often than they would train a flat bench.
So it's crazy how they reload this thing as the kegs all drop down to the one, and they have a hydraulic that brings them all up to the top. So our equipment crew doesn't have to load all the kegs back up there. But I'll tell you what, 575. That is some serious pressing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure we'll see someone finish. I mean, there is a couple of guys in here that can sort of bench press that sort of weight, but you've got all the lifts before it, which are obviously going to take some energy away. So it will be a big effort for someone to finish this, that's for sure.
So Maxime Boudreau credited at, was it 473?
Yep.
Give him 473. Kevin Ferris will be the next one to step up.
You see those straps going around his wrist? They're very important because they make the wrist more stable. So we don't get that little bit of flexing in that wrist that breaks the concentration.
Yeah, that I just think of the person that kind of designed this. I'm from the minds of Brian Shaw and others, but this is just a crazy, just seeing those kegs drop.
Yeah.
A pinball.
I mean, there's obviously a lot of thought gone into it. I mean, I don't know if anyone saw it on the live stream, the way they sort of reset it all. It's all done through hydraulics and mechanics and everything else. So you haven't got the guys having to sort of stand there on a ladder reloading the kegs. It's quite an impressive bit of machinery.
Probably not coming to a gym soon, local gym, because there's a lot to handle there. But it's pretty cool. Like we talked about this, Terry, going back to the visuals of the old World's Strongest Man days, pulling trains and buses and airplanes.
Yeah. And also another thing, just to add, the same as the leg press yesterday, these guys have all been measured up, so that back plate moves backwards and forwards. So, you know, there's no one has an advantage in terms of, like if they've got shorter arms or, you know, a bigger chest, no one has an advantage. Everyone's measured to the exact same position. And the back pad, and they're even standing on mats to make sure that the handle's in the same spot for the guys. I think it was the bottom of the sternum was the measuring point.
So the first keg drops down. He lifts that first at 365. This is 390. Next keg drops in. Successful. So this will go up to 416 for Kevin Ferris of the USA. Gets it.
I'm looking at this trying to sort of figure out if I'd actually like to have a go of it or not.
Good at 444.
Wow.
He gets it. This would give him the lead.
526 pounds.
Wow, Kevin Ferris with a great run so far.
2 left.
Can he get the last two?
541.
Let's go, Kevin. Come on, let's get this last one.
570 plus.
Great effort from
Yeah.
Kevin there, though.
So Kevin Ferris with a great performance there as he gets almost the full rack, goes 541.
Another thing, sort of another technicality with the sort of refereeing side of it, they're also strapped onto the pad, so
Yeah.
there can't be any sort of moving their back off, moving their bum off the pad, anything like that. Just to make it so it's exactly fair for everyone. Everyone's in the same position. So yeah, they've really gone to a lot of effort to make sure that this is a fair contest rather than sort of certain body types having an advantage over others.
Look at this, how they reload it. So drop all those kegs down one by one. Oh, they're going to do the whole rack. So there's the whole rack of kegs. They'll take the left side up first, and then the right side comes up. Next up, it'll be Luke Stoltman. Not the performance Luke was looking for. He currently sits in second to last place on 15 points. Worth noting that Adam Bishop, we talked about before, he had to pull out earlier today because of injury. So we start with 14 athletes. We now down to 13. Matt Eisman getting everyone jacked up. So 541 is the mark to beat, put up by American Kevin Ferris. Luke Stoltman will be the next one to come out.
I mean, Luke's a big presser. Certainly overhead pressing. I don't know how much bench pressing he does. I know he does it as part of his training, but I don't know how much he's pushing it and where he's at. But he's a big, strong presser with massively strong triceps. I can't imagine he would be bad at this event.
I got a good feeling about Luke, man. I think we're going to have a whole run here.
And you pointed it out, but they're really doing a great job making sure this is the same for all the competitors, adjusting the height. They made sure
So the guys on the floor are saying that Kevin Ferris is not 541, 542. So we'll just round it up a pound, give him the credit, and keep it consistent. Stoltman now getting strapped in. He's been measured.
Got that seatbelt fastened. He's good to go.
All right, he's set in, locked, ready to go. Let the fun begin.
starting out 390 pounds.
Good start from Luke.
These first few barrels will just be warming up.
416.
No problem with 416.
444.
Good at 444.
473.
I mean, I think this is great for sort of the gym goers because they can sort of understand it. Even though they don't do a standing press, they might bench press, but they might also use a chest press machine, and it gives you an idea of what these guys are going for. Obviously, when you're using a chest press machine, you'd set on a weight and you do an amount of reps, and it gets really hard towards the end. Obviously, these guys are doing an amount of reps and they're adding weight each time. It is really tough. I mean, for anyone that wanted to sort of try and feel what it feels like, go in the gym, put the pin in the stack, do a rep, and then gradually work your way up the stack and see how tough it is.
Yeah, so he bows out at 542, so he'll get credit for 526. So Kevin Ferris is 542.
Looking so strong, but these weights.
Wow, that was a good showing. Luke Stoltman. It seems like, Terry, the first 3 or 4, I don't want to make it sound like it's easy because these guys are going 390, 416, 444. They're making it look easy.
Yeah, I mean, they only make it look easy because they're so bloody strong. These guys are, immensely powerful.
How much of a difference is it? I mean, everyone, most people have bench pressed before. Why is this different? What's the dynamic change?
Well, I mean, obviously the standing side of it, so you can't get your legs into it. Actually, it's surprising how much you use your legs and things like that when you bench press. One, to stabilise, but you also get a little bit of sort of drive through your legs. So it is different. But also the good thing is you know, we can actually see the reaction. We can see the effort in their face, and that's always been the struggle with bench pressing in strongman competitions. When people have attempted it, you can't see them. You know, you can't see the athletes' faces, which makes it quite tricky. You know, we want to see the reaction. We want to see the grimacing. We want to see how much effort they're putting in.
He doesn't have too much to worry about with Tom Stoltman, who's going to be going last.
So after 5 events, Mitch Hooper has the lead overall on 60.5 points. Brian Shaw in second on 60 points. Trey Mitchell at 54.5. Tom Stoltman in fourth. And then Evan Singleton in fifth with 43. Moving on now. Second event here of day number 2. It's the standing chest press. And it's Ivor Smokstelis out of Latvia. Mark to beat is a 5:42 put up by Kevin Ferris of the U.S. Just moments ago, Luke Stoltman successful at 5:26.
All right, big Ivor. We're going to get him strapped
As he gets strapped in, we're going to remind you that we've still got 2 more events to go. Event number 7 will be the bag over bar, which is always entertaining. And then, of course, the final event, event number 8, the Fingal Fingers into Power Stairs. 2 Fingal Fingers at 300 pounds and 330 respectable before they get to the Power Stairs. So that'll be a lot of fun to wrap things up. Bit of a change. Normally the iconic Atlas Stones, but those were contested on day number 1.
I'm really excited for that last event. I think it's going to be a hell of a showdown.
Going to leave it wide open for everyone. So Ivor's strapped in, ready to go. He'll start things off at 390. Drop another keg.
Not sure what went on there. I don't know if he didn't get the down call. There was something wrong. He had to do that first weight twice there.
444. Gets the down.
473.
This would pull him even with Maxime Boudreau. He gets it.
Here we go. Let's go, buddy.
512.
That was 526.
526 now for Ivors.
All right, let's give him a big round of applause.
So he'll bow out at 512. Benching 512 pounds is, nothing to sneeze at.
Not at all.
So Kevin Ferris remains.
So Ferris still leads with 542. Luke Stoltman sitting in second with 526, and Ivor Smokstelis in third right now on 512. We get some great pressers still to come.
I expect Evan coming out next to be good at this. He's a massive bench presser, so I expect him to be good. Much as he's sort of a tall guy with long arms, he is a huge bench presser.
Evan Singleton will be the next man to drop out after they reload the rack of kegs.
Well, when they bring those handles down,
You wonder if there's something like this, they went to a local brewery, saw a contraption like this, said, we could do something with that.
Yeah.
so they have to wait for that cake to come down.
That's a few pints, isn't it?
Yep.
Two more events still to go after this one, so we're almost at the halfway point of day number 2. 4 events took place on day number 1. This is the second event, the halfway point when this is completed, and then the final 2 events. And that's when you're going to find out who has done the work, because attrition will certainly kick into effect. T-Rex, Evan Singleton out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, the 30-year-old, 6'5", 350 pounds.
He's got a big chest.
He's most excited for this event because he said he's a good bencher and he'd like to push for the win on this one. So we talked about it, Terry, and very few guys, I think I agree with you, are going to get that max of 575.
Evan is someone that you would imagine is capable of it. He does bench up around 600 pounds, so if anyone's got a chance of doing it, I would imagine he will be one of the ones that will have a shot of it. So
we'll see what Evan Singleton can do. He's currently sitting in 5th place overall after 5 events on 43 points. This would be huge if he could pull off a victory here. That would probably move him into the top 3 or 4, depending on what those ahead of him pull off here. Evan asking for a little crowd support in the sold-out Budweiser Event Center here in Loveland, Colorado. He steps into the contraption, gets belted in.
I would say he looks fired up, but Evan's always fired up.
That's true. He looked fired up for dinner the other night.
Yeah.
He's ready to go. We'll start off at 390. He's 416. No problem at 444. 473 is no problem.
Looking good so far.
Yeah, he's making this look easy.
Yeah, it's all, once he gets it moving just a tiny bit, all of a sudden it's like it gets easy for him. Just that initial bit's a little bit tough.
Good.
And then once he gets moving, the sort of triceps and the front delts and everything else kick in, and then all of a sudden looks super strong.
That puts him in a tie for first. This would give him the lead. The full rack, 575, and he's not going to get it. So a nice job by Evan Singleton as he goes into a tie with Kevin Ferris, first place, 542 pounds.
Well, great performance from Kevin as well, looking back on that. Went out second, didn't really know what to expect.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, because when you're doing an event, you know, even if you're out first, if you've done it before or you've seen people do it before, you've got an idea of what's going to happen. Obviously, none of these guys have actually seen this being used properly.
Yeah.
So no one knew what to expect at all.
Being able to do a standing chest press is a little bit different, as Terry pointed out. Don't use that core strength as you...
I mean, another thing was that with this, it'll be like the leg press. Last year, the winning number on the leg press was 8 reps. This year, it was, 14?
Yep.
And it'll be the same with this event, I'm sure, next year.
Yeah.
You know, whatever is done this year on this event, it will be surpassed next year, that's for sure, because the guys will know what to expect now and they'll be able to train for it and figure out where they need to improve their strengths to be better at this event.
With Dick Monfort until one night Dick Monfort sent him an email saying, "Hey Mike Eisman, tell me how much you've spent on season tickets since day one and I will write you a check to go the hell away." Dad didn't take the money. All right, next up, Thomas Evans.
So Thomas Evans will be the next man to step into the standing chest press here, the second event.
I would imagine Tom's going to be good at this event. He's a real fit guy. He's got a thick chest. He's a strength coach, ex-football player.
Yep.
You know, he's probably going to have done a lot of bench pressing in his time.
Once again, how awesome is this Shaw Classic, nurturing the strong men and strong women to come out with that open competition. That's how Tom Evans earned his way here, winning that open competition.
Evans getting strapped in. New event this year. Winner of last year's Open Championship at the Classic. Got himself a spot into the Pro. And I imagine for a lot of these guys, Terry, that grew up watching World's Strongest Man and the Arnold Classic, being able to be elevated and now competing with him, that's a huge honor.
Yeah, I'm sure Tom would have watched a lot of Brian on TV competing in strongman. To get to compete with guys like that, you know, when you've been watching them on TV for so long. You know, for me, it was guys like Magnus Samuelsson and Sven Karlsson and these guys. I got to compete with them when I'd watched them on TV for years, and it was an amazing experience.
It's quite a brotherhood. How many of those guys are you still able to keep in touch with?
Yeah, a few of them. We still chat every now and then. And, yeah, obviously it's great to keep in contact. We're all like-minded people, and, you know, it's always nice to catch up with strong men past and present.
Wow, he is solid.
Yeah, looks really strong.
This is 5:26.
Oh,
No problem.
he looks like he's going to finish this.
This will put him into first place with a tie. Nothing. I think we got our first full rack contestant here.
Definitely.
575. Thomas Evans. Got it.
Good job, Tom. Oh, now they're on the final one. They go for reps to separate them.
Hey, I'd be happy with just getting that
Exactly
575 up.
Exactly that. Yeah, as if 575 after all those lifts isn't hard enough on his own, you then got to rep it to sort of separate the guys that do finish it.
He is your leader, 570 pounds.
So in case you're curious, as Terry brought up the tiebreaker, they'll go for reps once they hit 575, and then they'll go back to time. So his time on that was an amazing 39.7 seconds. So if someone else puts up 575 and they do it in under 39.7 seconds, they will move into the lead. Wow. So now you're going to have to, if you're backstage, Terry, you know you're going to have to do all 8 kegs, and you have to do it in under 40 seconds.
Yeah. Pressure's definitely on these guys now.
That is fast. Can I just say how genius this system is? Because remember back in the day when you had something like this, you'd have guys out there
Yeah.
calling his guys to be out there loading kegs and have to reset it, and you'd be waiting, and this is 20 seconds, drops, goes, hydraulic it up, off and running.
It's not just a bit of equipment for lifting heavy stuff, it's an absolute feat of engineering as well.
Brian Shaw.
Well, let's see how this next guy fares coming out. I'm calling him the Dragon, Gavin Bilton.
The big man from Wales, Gavin Bilton, will be the next man to give it a shot. How do you think he fares on pressing?
Yeah, I mean, he is a strong presser. I mean,
This is the first time
Gav's pretty good at everything. There's no real massive weakness that he's got. He's pretty consistently good. He's getting better at all the events all the time. I mean, I'm sure Gav would have been, when he got the call up to come out here, I'm sure he would have been putting some extra work in on his bench press, and hopefully he's going to put in a big performance.
Getting the final instructions. Ed Cohn telling him what he can and can't do. Mark Philippi will be making sure that he does the extensions. Chad Coy also taking part as one of the officials. Also want to thank Van Hatfield and Joe Ken. All of our officials here at the Shaw Classic do a great job. And the beautiful thing, Terry, no controversy so far. It's been pretty straight up.
None at all, yeah. Well, it's like we said, they're sort of, the refs are being consistent all the way through. They're doing a great job. And, they were very clear with the rules on every event before the competition. It was explained to them in real detail, so there's no questions that weren't answered.
Gavin Bilton trying to become the strongest man on earth. To do so, he'll need all kegs, 8 of them, 575 pounds pressed in under 40 seconds.
All right, he's on his way. Here comes that first kick.
Let's go, Big Gav.
He's got those long arms. He's got to push it really far.
Been good.
416.
Come on, Gavin.
444.
444 across the board.
Big effort there.
6'6", 385 pounds now at 473.
Good work, Gav. I would say that's what we want to see. It's not always about the biggest number lifted. It's not always about, those records and things like that. It's just the effort these guys are putting in. That is what we want to see. That's what we're entertained by.
This is 5:12. He's laboring.
Still in his time. Look at this effort.
He's done. So he'll check out at 473, which puts him even with Maxime Boudreau.
The thing is, it's like we spoke a little bit about it yesterday. It's all about personal battles. Gav now knows where he's at. Next year, if he gets to come back, he's going to want to beat that, you know. And this is the thing. You're not always competing just against the guys that you're going up against. You sometimes see guys who'll be really happy with a lift which has got them a 5th or 6th place, but because it's the best they've done or the best they're capable of at the moment, they're really happy, and that's always the battle. You're more competing with yourself than you are the other guys.
He's got Justin Bieber here. He's rubbing in my face. God, I'm jealous.
So Gavin Bilton throws his jersey into the crowd and creates a tug of war. Bobby Thompson will be the next man up.
So who we got coming up next?
575 is the mark. Full rack put up by Thomas Evans. And we're down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 athletes here in the standing chest press with 2 more events still to go here. The Shaw Classic, the 4th annual running here in Loveland from the Budweiser Event Center.
I think this guy's gonna be dangerous.
I would guess, looking at Bobby the way he's built and knowing he's a strong overhead presser, I would guess that Bobby's going to be good at this.
Yeah.
He's got that sort of real thick build to him. Massive shoulders, massive chest, massive triceps. I can imagine that he will be really good at this event.
Triceps. This is gonna be good.
Well, you guys have seen it, folks. The louder you are, the lighter these weights feel.
Let's go, Bobby Thompson.
So Bobby Thompson now stepping in, 2 minutes on the clock. Eight kegs waiting for him. So we'll get 1 rep in with no keg on there at 365, then a keg drops and he goes to 390.
Here we go. Number 1.
416.
Oh, he's pretty relaxed, buddy.
444.
I tell you, he looks pretty relaxed, Terry. 444 pounds.
Looking good.
Here comes the 4.
473.
No real struggle yet at all.
None.
Going up now with his fifth round of 512 pounds.
512. Easy. Okay, these next 3 are huge. 526.
Well, still looking strong. I mean,
Yeah.
only 2 more lifts to go, and then obviously repping the last one to try and get ahead of Tom Evans if he can. Looks like he's just about hit the wall now.
It's the last one.
Let's go, Bobby. Come on.
Now, 575 proves to be too much for Bobby Thompson, so he'll get credit for 542.
Bobby Thompson, 7
It's still Thomas Evans with the lead.
The American Nightmare. He loves attacking his weights.
Well done.
And this is the thing we sort of talked about. For people that sort of don't always understand strongman events, you know, most people that have been in the gym have bench pressed, and now they can perhaps understand, you know, how strong these guys really are. The fact that they're going out there and basically chest pressing nearly 500, well, nearly 600 pounds. Thomas did.
Yep. So the kegs are reloaded. Hydraulics will take them back up to the top. And that takes us down to the final 5 competitors. You'll see Alexei Novikov, Trey Mitchell, Mitch Hooper, Brian Shaw, and the last man to go will be Tom Stoltman. Jump ahead a little bit. Tom Stoltman, Brian Shaw, both big men, over 400 pounds, over 6 feet 6 tall. How do you think they fare in the bench press?
I mean, they're both big bench pressers. Typically, guys with longer levers are not so good at pressing movements. Just the length of the arms, the extra distance has got to travel. Guys with shorter levers tend to be better at pushing movements. But both those guys, I mean, they sort of get around it with having absolute colossal strength, and also on top of that, they're huge men as well. So it kind of changes the leverages a little bit. They're absolutely enormous, got huge shoulders, huge triceps. They're very big men, so they do get round that sort of, that difference where, they've got the longer levers, the thing that would make it difficult for them.
Alexei Novikov now, 27 years of age, already a World's Strongest Man champion. He got that done back in 2020 when he was just 24 years old. This is the third appearance at the Shaw Classic. Placed third place at the 2020 event. Here he is now stepping in. Alexei looking to move himself up that leaderboard. Currently, Novikov sitting in 7th place on 37 points, 1 point back of Bobby Thompson in 6th.
Well, he knows what he needs to do to get ahead of Bobby. He's just seen Bobby go. He's got to try and beat that, obviously.
So off and running at 365 pounds, no kegs dropped. First one will come in, and 390.
I don't necessarily see Alexei, he might prove me wrong here, but I don't see him being unbelievably good at this. When you watch him press, when he's doing overhead press, the thing that makes Alexei so good is he's so explosive and so powerful. Whereas he doesn't always sort of have that power to really grind out big heavy lifts. Everything's about sort of how explosive he is.
473. This will be a big one for him, 512.
Still a great performance there.
Yeah. So 473 for Alexei. Same number put up by Maxime Boudreau and Gavin Bilton. All right, we're down to the final 4. It'll be Trey Mitchell, Mitch Hooper, Brian Shaw, and Tom Stoltman.
I would be absolutely shocked if Trey wasn't amazing at this event.
Yeah, I agree.
He's got a huge chest, huge pressing power. I just can't see him being anything but amazing at this event.
Someone asked him about this event, and his answer was quite simple. He said, "It's all right."
Yeah. Well, Trey never gives too much away.
That's true,
anyway.
that's true.
He's like a sort of so stoic a lot of the time, doesn't show a hell of a lot of emotion, just comes out and does his business.
Yeah. Trey, a 2-time Shaw Classic champion, Thor's Hammer record holder. 4th appearance. He's been at every single one of the Shaw Classics. This is a big deal right now. I mean, these are the top 4 guys. So Trey Mitchell, who currently sits in 3rd place, 54.5 points. If he could win this event, Terry, and move ahead of Brian and Mitch on points, he's going to put himself a lot closer to that 60 where they are.
Yeah.
And with 2 events to go, which he could be very good at, it's maybe a chance for him still to steal this victory.
Yeah, and he's got a very sort of active Tom Stoltman behind him. He's on the rise. He's sort of had a couple of big performances. You know, he's going to want to sort of almost calm Tom down a little bit by beating him on this event. Stop the sort of the momentum that Tom's created over the last couple of events.
So Charles Trey Mitchell, the 3rd, Big Tex out of Lumberton, Texas, 6'4", 370 pounds at 30 years of age. Gets himself ready to be strapped into this contraption. It's like a time machine, and he's traveling back to the land of pain. It's like you're getting on a amusement park ride. They strap you in all this stuff, but it's not going to be a thrill. It's just going to hurt.
Yep. Mind you, I'm sure if Trey went on a roller coaster or something, it would hurt him. And they're not exactly built for people like us. I know from experience.
So here he goes.
This is going to be dangerous.
390 pounds, no problem for him. I imagine these first 3 or 4 are just going to be warm-ups for him, Terry.
Yeah.
He's in his comfort zone right now.
444 is no problem.
Oh, yeah, baby. He's going to go the distance.
Yeah, he's going to want to try and shut that door on Tom Stoltman. Obviously, you know, like we said, he's riding a lot of momentum at the moment. If Trey can put in a big performance here, it could stop that.
512 good. This is 526 pounds. 2 more to go.
Everyone who's going to need your love in the 7th game.
He's not done. He's got the shot.
Nope.
Give him that big round of applause, everyone.
So he will get credit for 5:26.
5:26. So Tom Evans remains in the lead.
Thomas Evans still holding on with that 5:75, and I think what's going to set him apart, Terry, is he not only did 5:75, but he did it pretty fast,
Yeah.
under a minute.
They're currently in a three-way tie for second at 5:42. And next up, this is where it really
Luke
starts
Stoltman
to
also
get
did
interesting.
5:26.
This is where contests.
But I'll tell you what, that 5:42 of Bobby Thompson, that was a great move, even with Evan Singleton.
Because he has been having quite the year.
Trey Mitchell done, down to the final 3 now in this event. Mitch Hooper. It'll be Brian Shaw and Tom Stoltman, by virtue of winning the last event, gets to go last.
He's got to be high because now he knows Brian's going after him. So he's got to get everything.
This is a really interesting dynamic right now. Mitch Hooper has the overall lead, a half a point ahead of Brian Shaw. Brian Shaw is going after him.
Yeah.
So Brian will have that extra motivation, Terry, of knowing what he needs. Because if he can get 1 point ahead of Mitch, he'll move into the overall lead.
Exactly that. I mean, it's almost weird that they're chasing Mitch, but Mitch is actually the one that's sort of, got to go out there and, really sort of, he's not got the advantage. Normally the guy who's leading sort of kind of has the advantage a little bit, but not today.
He knows what's in front of him. He knows
I
what he
mean,
has to do.
it's so close going into this. I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard to call how this is all going to fall at the end of the competition, but, Mitch will definitely be nervous going out before Brian on this event.
Stephen Arnold and the world's strongest man this year, looking to make it a clean sweep. But this is
And it'll be interesting if Mitch can pull this off. And, man, he's had a good year. Won the World's Strongest Man. He won the Arnold Classic. If he could pull off the Shaw Classic in the same year, the trifecta. Fans calling out for the Moose.
So we got that seatbelt tight fastened tight. Those hands are on the bar so they can't come off anymore. And here we go.
Let's see what he's got.
All right, Mitch Hooper on the way. 2 more athletes to go after him.
Moose looking strong here early.
4:16, not a problem.
First few barrels are pretty much a warm-up for these guys.
Good at 4:44.
Number 4.
Oh, he looks strong.
Yeah, he does.
Looks really comfortable so far.
So this is 512 pounds, and that's not a problem. And here's where you get serious. 526, 542, and then 575.
He looks good. Wouldn't surprise me if he gets both these last 2.
Got it.
That's 7. 578.
Nope.
Good effort there from Mitch
Yeah.
Hooper, though.
So 542, even on Bobby Thompson
Let's give it up to Mr. Big Mitch Hooper.
and Kevin Ferris. Wow, we're down to the final 2. This is moving right along. So Brian Shaw, this will be a really interesting situation to see how far Brian pushes himself.
Yeah.
542 is what the man in front of him overall, Mitch Hooper, just did. So Brian could really just do, he could do 542 faster and take the lead, or he could just do the whole rack, which is probably what's on Brian's mind, is just, why not just do the whole rack? I built this thing, I came up with it.
He's going to gain some serious points.
And the one thing I would say is Brian hasn't had the advantage. People might think, oh, that's Brian's equipment. He might have been able to train on it. They've still been tinkering with the equipment and fixing it literally up until 2 days before we got here.
Was it Friday? They're still waiting for a part or two to come in?
Exactly.
And then we still got Mr. Big Tom Stoltman after.
So it'll be Brian Shaw, who sits in second place overall, and then Tom Stoltman will be the last man to go. Stoltman sitting in 4th place on 47 points. So he cannot pass Brian Shaw or Mitch Hooper, even if Stoltman was to win this event. Shaw can move into first place if he can get all 8 kegs lifted. But he's got to do it faster than Thomas Evans.
Brian is a big bench presser.
Yeah.
Really big. And certainly in the past has been benching huge numbers. So it'll be interesting to see how he fares on this.
And Brian is fastidious, to say the least, is his preparation. I mean, he's learned every trick. He's learned every...
And you can't rush him either.
Yeah, he just...
You know, even if they were over there saying, come on, Brian, you've got to get a move on, he would still go through the same sort of process of, you know, how he wraps his wrists and everything else. There's no,
it's
no
not like
rushing.
he's stalling. This is just his preparation.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is just an incredible moment right now for Brian, and he's got to see the
I think that's the beauty of shows like this. You know, is with the World's Strongest Man and things like this, they're so on you about, like, you know, TV time and stuff like that.
Right.
So with this, Brian's, you know, set his stall out and said it's for the athletes. So, you know, if the guys need a little bit more time, he'll give them a little bit more time.
There he goes. Well, he certainly has the hometown crowd behind him as Brian Shaw steps into this contraption which he helped design and build. And we'll see how it plays out. He needs all 8 kegs. That would give him 575, and he needs to do it in under 40 seconds if he wants to take the lead and surpass Thomas Evans.
Here we go.
First one will be 390.
Good.
We got a technical problem.
Uh-oh. There you go.
Okay, he's gonna lose you guys here because
Kegs got stuck for just a second.
oh my God.
That's 473.
Time tried.
It's 512.
Is that going to have phased him?
Not even it.
526.
526 for Brian Shaw. Up.
If anyone's going to be able to keep their cool in that situation, it's Brian.
542.
Can he go again?
So he's in
Can
the
he
first.
take the lead?
This is for the lead.
Wow.
The big man is jacked. £575 plus 1. Well, you called it, Terry. You knew that the latter events on day number 2 were going to favor Brian Shaw, so if you're going to get him, you better hope you've got him down on the leaderboard on day 1.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's hear from Brian Shaw.
I love you guys. That was awesome. It worked out all right. It worked out all right. We got to keep rocking. Thank you for all the love. Really, really means a lot. Let's get Tom out here and see what he can do.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
Fantastic performance there from Brian. Now Tom's got to come out and try and follow that.
So the 41-year-old Brian Shaw is in first place. He has set the mark to beat. all 8 kegs plus an extra rep. So for Tom Stoltman to take the win and make it 3 events in a row, he's going to have to do all 8 kegs plus 2 reps or all 8 kegs plus 1 rep in a faster time.
Yeah, and then you've got the other dynamic as well. Is it if he was to do all 8 lifts, but in a slower, in the same sort of time as Tom Evans? Obviously, Mitch Hooper didn't get the 8 lifts; he got 7. So that's then 2 guys getting between them.
Points,
yes. Is a 3-point change, though.
So he could drop down 2.5 points with 2 events to go.
There's a lot still can happen in this competition. It's far from done.
Is it too much of a Hollywood ending for Brian Shaw to end his career winning the Shaw Classic as he says goodbye to the event and the sport?
It would probably be the most fitting sporting moment there's ever been.
So it comes down to this. Tom Stoltman, 29-year-old out of Invergordon, Scotland, stands 6 feet 8 inches tall. He weighs 405 pounds. He needs the full rack of kegs plus an extra rep faster than Brian Shaw did it, or do 2 extra reps when it's fully loaded at 575.
Let's go, Big Tom. Good. I wonder how it feels when you're standing there and that keg's rolling down and you're just waiting. You'd be itching to lift.
And just hear it.
Yeah.
Slamming right behind their head.
Yeah. Just nervously waiting for Mark Philippi to tell them they can lift.
He's still comfortable.
He looks really comfortable, doesn't he?
Does look good. He's going to have an eye on Trey Mitchell's 526. That's for sure.
Two more kegs.
That was it. That was the 526. So he's tied with Trey. He gets this. No,
He's
not
done.
today. Great effort though.
So 526 for Tom Stoltman. And that means that Brian Shaw has just won the standing chest press, and he will go into first place.
I don't know if he's coming back out here. I think he is.
Bring him out.
Great performance there from Tom Evans as well. Yeah, that was fantastic.
Tom Evans, 575. Brian Shaw, 575. Let's send it down to the floor.
Feeling, buddy? Is this time to bring it home one last time?
I think the door is open. Door's open right now, man. That was big. I appreciate you guys, man. That was awesome. I tweaked my chest a little bit on the last one, so I left it. I don't think it's too bad, hopefully, but we don't need the chest anymore because that's done. So we're gonna throw some bags, lift some fingers, and finish up with some heavy power stairs. Man, this is awesome, man. You guys' energy is unbelievable. What a special day. It's awesome.
So I want to ask Brian, because you dominated that. What do you think your max bench press is right now, just out of interest? Just to give some like relativity to it.
Comfortably paused over 600 for sure. You know, that I don't think there's any doubt in my mind about that. You know, I don't know how much further. It's tough to say because this is different than that, but it sure would be fun to find out though.
Maybe one day.
All right, we've got, this place is packed, but I know we've got thousands and thousands of people watching this online. What do you got to say to these guys, man?
Well, the love is unreal, and you know this started as a vision, and I believed it could get here, and I still believe we're just getting started, and just so you guys know. Just so you guys know, I told the athletes this morning
based on everybody that's here, based on everybody that's watching at home, as of right now, we're at $230,000 in prize money for these guys. So we'll see where the numbers fall, obviously, based on who's tuning in today and that type of thing. But I'm so proud of that in the 4th year to get to that kind of number, and hopefully we're above that even, is unreal. And you know, these guys work incredibly hard, and you know, it's really important to me to reward them for their hard work. So obviously, as you guys know, I'm not taking any of that prize money. It'll all go back. I'll go back to these guys as well. So the job is not done. We got 2 events. I'm gonna go get a little bit of food in me. You guys got some arm wrestling to watch right now. Oh, arm wrestling or bag toss. Kerry's gonna be so mad at me for messing that up. I'm just focused on what I have to do. I'm gonna hand it over to my beautiful wife, run a show. You guys keep bringing the energy, we'll keep bringing it. Love you.
Brian Shaw!
So Brian Shaw sets the stage, and I think, Terry, the most important thing he said there, if you're an athlete, he could win this event and take a huge chunk of that prize money, and he's turning it all back into the other 13 guys.
Yeah, it just shows the sort of type of guy Brian is, the measure of him as a person. You know, I remember being out in Jordan, we were doing a competition, and Brian was talking about, you know, doing something like this back then. This was like 2018, I believe, and now he's made it a reality.
So there you go. Brian Shaw gets the win. He gets the 14 points with that victory. Thomas Evans finishes in 2nd place. And then you have the tie, the 4-way tie between Hooper, Thompson, Singleton, and Ferris. So to your point, Terry, Mitch Hooper, who was in 1st, he drops back 3.5 points. So he loses 3 points on Brian Shaw. So there's your difference. Tom Stoltman finishing in 7th. Trey Mitchell, Luke Stoltman, Ivers, Alexi, Gavin Bilt, Maxime Boudreau, and of course Adam Bishop, unfortunately having to withdraw earlier today because of an injury. So